Stop. Right now, someone is trying to manipulate you, and you don't even realize it. Your boss, your partner, your friends, the media. They're all playing psychological games with you, and you're losing because you don't even know the game exists. Here's the brutal truth. If you can be manipulated, you will be manipulated. In this world, there are only two types of people: those who control and those who are controlled. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He wrote, "Men are so simple that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." But what if you could become impossible to manipulate? What if you could see through every trick, every deception, every psychological game before it even starts? Today, I'm going to give you 10 brain hacks that will make you mentally untouchable. These are tested psychological defense mechanisms that Machiavelli used to survive in one of the most dangerous political environments in human history. Once you learn these hacks, you'll start seeing manipulation everywhere. This knowledge is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Write this statement in the comments: I refuse to be controlled. Let's build your mental fortress, starting now. Before we dive into the brain hacks, you need to understand how manipulation actually works. Most people think manipulation is about lying or being aggressive. It's not. Real manipulation is subtle, invisible. It makes you think you're making your own decisions while someone else is steering you. Every person has psychological buttons, triggers, weaknesses. Manipulators don't attack you directly. They press your buttons and watch you attack yourself. Example: someone wants you to do something you don't want to do. A bad manipulator demands or threatens. A skilled manipulator makes you feel guilty for not wanting to do it. Makes you feel like you're a bad person if you refuse. See the difference? The bad manipulator pushes you. The skilled manipulator makes you push yourself. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." This applies to manipulation. Everyone sees the request. Few people see the psychological trap behind it. Think about your life. How many times have you done something you didn't want to do because someone made you feel obligated, guilty, selfish? That's manipulation. Manipulation works because of your emotions, not your logic. Manipulators bypass your rational brain and target your emotional brain directly. They use fear, guilt, shame, pride, insecurity, love. These emotions override your logic and make you predictable. And predictable people are controllable people. The brain hacks I'm about to teach you will rewire your brain to recognize manipulation before it affects you. Write this in the comments: I see through manipulation. The first brain hack is simple but devastating. Never react immediately to anything. Manipulators rely on your immediate emotional reactions. They trigger fear, anger, guilt, or urgency. Then they wait for you to react emotionally. The moment you react emotionally, they have control. Here's the hack. Create a delay between stimulus and response. Someone says something that makes you angry? Don't respond. Pause. Wait 5 seconds. In those 5 seconds, your emotional brain calms down and your rational brain activates. Someone pressures you to decide right now? Say, Let me think about it. Any manipulator who refuses to give you thinking time is trying to control you. Example. Someone says, "If you really cared about me, you would do this for me right now." Your emotional brain hears, "I need to prove I care." But if you delay, your rational brain asks, "Why are they making my care conditional? Why the urgency? What are they really trying to achieve?" The delay reveals the manipulation. This single hack makes you 80% harder to manipulate. Manipulators disguise their self-interest as concern for you. They frame their desires as if they're helping you. The brain hack. Every time someone suggests something, ask yourself, who benefits from this? Your boss says, "This is a great opportunity for you to show leadership by taking on this extra project." Sounds good, right? Leadership, opportunity, growth. But ask who benefits. Your boss benefits because work gets done without hiring someone. You get more work, more stress, probably no extra pay. Machiavelli wrote, "Men nearly always follow the tracks made by others." Translation, people are self-interested, but they disguise it. Every suggestion, every request, every advice, ask who benefits. You'll be shocked how often the answer is, "Not me." Write this in the comments. I see through manipulation. Someone does something small for you. Then they ask for something big from you. You feel obligated because they did something for me. This is the reciprocity trap. Someone buys you coffee. Now you feel obligated to help them move. Someone gives you a compliment. Now you feel obligated to do them a favor. Machiavelli warned rulers to be careful about accepting gifts because they create obligations. Obligations create control. The defense? Recognize unsolicited gifts as potential manipulation. When someone does something you didn't ask for, say thank you, but don't feel obligated. They chose to do it. You owe nothing. If someone does you a favor, then immediately asks for something big, recognize the pattern. Real generosity doesn't come with strings. Create equal exchanges quickly. This prevents obligation from building up. People lie constantly, but here's the secret. While people can control their words, they can't control their patterns. Stop listening to what people say. Start watching what they do, repeatedly. Machiavelli wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." People say whatever they need to say in the moment. Their patterns reveal the truth. Someone says they care about you? Don't believe the words. Watch the pattern. Do they consistently show up when you need them, or only when they need something? Someone says they're honest? Watch the pattern. Do they tell the truth even when it costs them, or only when convenient? Someone says they'll change. Watch the pattern. Do they actually change behavior, or just promise change and repeat the pattern? Create a mental file for every important person. After 10, 20 interactions, you'll see their pattern, and their pattern predicts their future behavior. Example, someone promises 5 times to pay you back, never delivers. The pattern tells you they're not going to pay you back, ever. Once you trust patterns over words, people can't fool you with empty promises or convincing lies. Every piece of information you reveal is ammunition that can be used against you. Manipulators collect information. Your fears, your desires, your insecurities. Then they use this information to control you. The brain hack? Practice strategic information control. Not everyone deserves to know everything about you. You tell them you fear being alone, they threaten to leave unless you comply. You tell them you dream of success, they dangle opportunity to make you desperate. You tell them your secrets, they threaten to expose you. Before you tell someone something personal, ask, can this information be used against me? Most of the time, the answer is yes. This doesn't mean being cold, it means being selective. Real trust is built slowly through demonstrated patterns, not through quick emotional bonding. Protect your information like you protect your money. Once you give it away, you can't get it back. Emotional blackmail is manipulation disguised as emotion. Someone makes you responsible for their emotional state. Here are the most common patterns. If you loved me, you would, making love conditional. I'm so disappointed in you, weaponizing disappointment. After everything I've done for you, creating obligation. You're making me feel, making you responsible for their emotions. Fine, do whatever you want. Punishing independence with guilt. Notice the pattern? Every single one transfers responsibility from them to you. The defense? Recognize that you are not responsible for other people's emotional reactions to your boundaries. Example, someone says, I'm so hurt that you won't do this for me. Your emotional brain? Oh no, I hurt them. I should comply. Your rational brain should recognize that they're making me responsible for their hurt as a way to control my decision. Once you identify emotional blackmail, it loses its power. Write this in the comments. I'm not responsible for their emotions. Manipulators are inconsistent. They have to be, because they're showing you a fake version designed to control you. Pay attention to inconsistencies in behavior, stories, and values. Inconsistency is the fingerprint of manipulation. Honest people are consistent. Their words match actions. Their values remain stable. Their stories don't change. Manipulators are inconsistent. They say one thing, do another. Their values change based on what they need. Watch for someone tells different versions of the same story. Someone has strong values, then violates them when convenient. Someone treats you differently in private versus public. Someone promises repeatedly, but delivers rarely. Example, someone constantly talks about loyalty and teamwork, but they take credit for others' work. They throw colleagues under the bus. They leave teams for better opportunities. Their words say loyalty. Their pattern says self-interest. The inconsistency reveals the manipulation. Keep track of inconsistencies. When you see a pattern, you've identified a manipulator. Most people are afraid to say no. This fear is your biggest vulnerability. The brain hack. Practice saying no regularly, even when uncomfortable, especially when uncomfortable. Machiavelli advised rulers that being able to say no was essential to maintaining power. If you can't say no, everyone knows they can control you through persistence. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, you train people that you can be manipulated. The solution? Rebuild your no muscle. Someone asks you to do something you don't want to do? Say no. No excuse. No explanation. Just no, I can't. Someone pushes after you say no? Repeat, I already said no. Someone tries to guilt you? Don't engage. My answer is no. When you start saying no consistently, manipulative people get angry. They escalate. This is a good sign. It means they're losing control over you. But honest people, they respect your no. They might be disappointed, but they don't punish you. Your no is your power. Without it, you're vulnerable to every manipulation tactic. Some people in your life benefit from keeping you weak. They don't want you to succeed because your weakness serves their interests. The brain hack. Identify who benefits from your weaknesses and failures. Watch for these patterns. When you succeed, do they celebrate or minimize it? When you try to improve, do they encourage or discourage? When you set boundaries, do they respect or violate them? When you fail, do they help or say, I told you so? Example, you decide to lose weight. A real friend supports this. A manipulative person? They constantly offer junk food. They mock your efforts. They tell you you're fine as you are. Why? Because your obesity serves them. Maybe it makes them feel better. Maybe it keeps you dependent. Maybe it keeps you insecure and easy to control. Your weakness is their advantage. The solution is brutal. Distance yourself from people who benefit from your weaknesses. They are anchors holding you underwater while smiling and calling it support. The final brain hack. Learn when to be vulnerable and when to be guarded. Most people either are vulnerable with everyone, easy to manipulate, or guarded with everyone, isolated and paranoid. The brain hack. Be strategically vulnerable. Open up to people who have earned trust through demonstrated patterns. Stay guarded with everyone else. Here's how. Stage 1. New relationship. Share nothing important. Be pleasant but guarded. Observe patterns. Stage 2. Observed consistency. Share something small. Watch how they handle it. Do they respect it? Do they gossip? Do they use it against you? Stage 3. Demonstrated trustworthiness. Share something more significant. Again, observe. Stage 4. Proven trust. Now you can be more fully vulnerable, but still watch for changes. Most people skip straight to stage 4 with everyone. Then they're shocked when people use their vulnerability against them. Make people earn your vulnerability. Trust is earned slowly through consistent, demonstrated behavior. Someone new immediately shares deep personal problems. Your emotional brain thinks, we're bonding. Your rational brain should recognize, why are they skipping trust-building stages? This is either poor boundaries or manipulation. Real trust is built slowly. Rushed intimacy is often manipulation. Guard your vulnerability like you guard your wallet. Only open it for people who have proven they won't steal from you. Write this in the comments. I choose strategic vulnerability. Let's review the 10 brain hacks that make you impossible to manipulate. 1. Delay your emotional response. Never react immediately. Create space between stimulus and response. This single hack stops 80% of manipulation attempts. 2. Always ask, who benefits? Expose hidden self-interest. Every time someone suggests something, analyze who gains from it. Usually, it's not you. 3. Recognize reciprocity traps. Don't feel obligated by unsolicited favors. Manipulators give small things to extract big things. Break the cycle. 4. Trust patterns, not words. People lie, but patterns don't. Watch what they do consistently, not what they say occasionally. Patterns predict future behavior. 5. Control information you reveal. Your information is ammunition. Guard it. Not everyone deserves to know your weaknesses, fears, and dreams. 6. Identify emotional blackmail. You're not responsible for other people's emotions. When someone makes their feelings your problem to control you, that's manipulation. 7. Notice inconsistency. Inconsistency is the fingerprint of deception. When words don't match actions, when stories change, when values shift based on convenience, you've found a manipulator. 8. Practice saying no. Your boundaries are your power. Without the ability to say no, you're vulnerable to every manipulation tactic. Build your no muscle. 9. Observe who benefits from your weaknesses. Some people need you to stay weak. They sabotage your growth because your weakness serves them. Identify and distance yourself from them. 10. Master selective vulnerability. Make people earn your trust through demonstrated patterns. Don't give your vulnerability to everyone. Strategic openness with proven trustworthy people only. These brain hacks work, but they require constant awareness. You can't be lazy. You can't just trust everyone. You have to watch, analyze, pattern match. Stay alert. Is this exhausting? At first, yes, but it becomes automatic. Your brain learns to recognize manipulation instantly. It becomes your default operating system. And once that happens, you become impossible to manipulate. Not difficult, impossible. Machiavelli survived Renaissance Italy, one of the most manipulative, dangerous political environments in human history. Rulers were poisoned. Allies became enemies overnight. Trust was a weapon used against you. He survived by mastering these exact principles. You live in a world that's just as manipulative. Your workplace is full of people playing political games. Your relationships have power dynamics. Your family has conditional love. Social media manipulates your attention. Politics manipulates your fears. Everyone is trying to control you in some way, but now you have the tools to defend yourself. Now you can see through the manipulation. Now you can build a mental fortress that no one can penetrate. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people won't use these tools. They'll watch this video, feel inspired for 5 minutes, and then go back to being manipulated. Why? Because awareness is uncomfortable. It's easier to be controlled than vigilant. It's easier to trust blindly than to analyze constantly. Most people choose comfort over awareness. They'd rather be puppets who feel safe than free thinkers who see reality. But you're not most people. You watched this entire video. You're still here. That means you're ready to become impossible to manipulate. So here's my challenge. Implement just 3 of these brain hacks this week. Not all 10, just 3. Pick the ones that address your biggest vulnerabilities. Maybe you react too emotionally. Maybe you can't say no. Maybe you trust words instead of patterns. Choose 3. Practice them deliberately. Watch what happens. Watch how people react when they realize they can't manipulate you anymore. Some people will respect you more. They'll see you as stronger, more decisive, more self-aware. These are the good people in your life. Others will get angry.
They'll call you cold, selfish, or paranoid. They'll escalate their manipulation attempts. They'll guilt you, pressure you, or threaten you. These are the manipulators, and now you know who they are. Now you know who to remove from your life. The brain hacks don't just protect you from manipulation, they also reveal who the manipulators are. And that information is priceless. One more thing. Some of you are thinking, but if I do this, won't I become a manipulator myself? No. There's a fundamental difference. Manipulators use these techniques to exploit and control others. You're using them to protect yourself and see reality clearly. Defense is not the same as attack. Awareness is not the same as exploitation. Machiavelli understood this distinction. He wrote about power not to teach tyrants how to oppress, but to teach people how to recognize and defend against oppression. That's what we're doing here. If this video gave you the tools to defend yourself, hit the like button. If you want more Machiavellian mental defense strategies, subscribe and turn on notifications. I create videos on dark psychology, strategic thinking, and mental dominance every week. And if you know someone who's being manipulated constantly, maybe a friend who can't say no, or a family member who's always being guilt-tripped, share this video with them. They need these brain hacks more than they know. Write this final statement in the comments. I am impossible to manipulate. Say it, believe it, become it. Remember, in a world full of manipulators, the only winning move is to become impossible to manipulate. The game is being played whether you know it or not. You can either be a piece on someone else's board, or you can remove yourself from the game entirely. Your mental fortress is built. The walls are strong, the defenses are active. Now defend it, every single day. No one controls you anymore. No one manipulates you anymore. You see through every trick. You recognize every pattern. You trust actions over words. You delay emotional reactions. You ask who benefits. You say no without guilt. You guard your information. You spot inconsistencies. You build trust slowly. You are impossible to manipulate. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Stay vigilant, stay free.